Hello, welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. I don't know how many videos I've tried recording and not put out there about recent events and everything else, and I'm just sort of like laid low, and it's like keep my mouth shut. Just keep doing on what I'm doing. And in the meantime, Transformers the TCG Yellow Pip. I gotta show y'all the new Pip and the cards. I got all that ready. We just got to go over them, and you won't see my mug when we do it, and I think you'll like it. You can call it a buff or the buffer or whatever, but it's a solid yellow Pip, and because of that little nugget of joy, now we I went back and recolored the Marina War battle cards. There's like 9 of them. Most of them, if maybe only 1 or 2, are not put on boats only. If you actually want to use those, you'll have to utilize Energon in conjunction with base cards to be able to play waterboards, maybe another one, to be able to have your characters in bot mode. Also open the boat trait to be able to get these put on characters on your team, whether they have the boat trait or not. Now they do, as long as waterboards is in play. They can be introduced into the game. Now, I will say this as well, is I'm working on the ranking cards, and wow, I told you this was going to be big last year, and I'm about halfway through. Really, I really am. We've looked at many of them. Now that I have created this new Pip, that actually helps, because originally I was having to double up with some colored Pips, even utilizing the red Pip. And in a nutshell, the Raider or Private is normally a solid color, sometimes maybe with also a solid green Pip. And then you sometimes may have a green Pip on the flip, be able to get on the flip for captain, and then a specialized traded green Pip for the general. Everything in between, the 3 ranks in between, are normally hybrids for the most part, depending on how I'm trying to work everything out here. And I pretty much have, and you probably know this, you're probably tired of, you probably just dismissed me altogether by now, because it's been taking so long, and I've been in a new job for about 7 months now, and I'm about ready to go, oh boy. So, since March, but it's really hitting me for a loop. I just have the Marine ranks, the space units, and their ranks for Autobots and Decepticons left, pretty much, and that's it. But if I want to utilize the yellow Pip, I can do that going forward, and I can try to also add it into some that I've already done. And when I do that, it turns no longer into a magic or MTG magic set editor card. It becomes sort of an image or JPEG or something, or PNG, whatever. And now, oh well, I'll just keep my mouth shut on one little detail. But I'm halfway done, and this is taking a while. I do apologize. I wanted to wash my hands of this game and doing stuff for the TCG months ago, last year. It didn't happen because while I may be ADHD or something, from this to that to that to that, and having no focus whatsoever, and my kids don't believe that I have it, but I'm pretty sure I do. I think everybody has problems focusing in one way or another, and we have to all be able to cope with reality in our own separate little ways. But the thing is, come down to reality. It's not fun, but it's who we are. So, getting back to the game, is that I have some really good ideas. What I've been doing currently to be able to go forward, to understand what I've done so far, and I already had kind of a general skeleton of data for what I was wanting to do with all the units, all the rankings, the Decepticons and Autobots, that I'm like, okay, I pulled out Excel, and that's what I'm doing with this new job, is Excel spreadsheets like you wouldn't believe in. All these sheets of Excel, without saying too much. And I'm enjoying it. I've never thought I would. Now, I remember I was in a call center 15 years ago, and I was trying to learn some C++ by doing the back door into C++ out of Excel, trying to teach myself a little bit. I didn't get very far. I got to about chapter 2 or 3 of the C++ book, which was like this big, and it just went over my head real quick. I was able to make 1 or 2 tiny little program thingies, and that was about it. But Excel, I don't know what it is. Maybe I was really high when it came to numbers and math and everything, and Excel is just so fun for me. And that might be another reason why I find even playing Transformers the TCG solo with 2 decks and two groups is somewhat satisfying. Because it's just so interesting, and it's not just the characters, it's not just the IP. It's a card game that I was finally able to wrap my head around. I still don't understand Magic. You've seen me, collect some of the Final Fantasy themed Magic the Gathering cards, and I've enjoyed that. I've tried to teach myself Magic. I just don't get it. I have a friend of mine who's big into Magic, who doesn't understand how I learned how to play Transformers and not know how to play Magic. But I like card games even whether I don't play. I really miss Books A Million. We still have one around us, but the way Books A Million used to be, because I've made a video months and months ago about the Lord of the Rings cards that I have. I have all these Lord of the Ring cards from like the 90s or like 1999 or something. And I don't know how to play it, but it's very D&D in card, because there's all these. I bought the book How to Play this Lord of the Ring card game, and there's all these roll checks that you have to do. It's very D&D, and it was before Peter Jackson ever did the movies. Some years before the movies, and so it's all this cool artwork. It was really nice. The Wizards. That's right. The Lord of the Rings, the Wizards. And I've kind of shown them off here, but it's not much to show off if you don't know how to play the game. They're not worth anything if no one plays it. I was going to try to just give them away somewhere, and people were like, I can't buy this from you. I don't know anyone that wants it. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I'm stuck with them. But, interesting story there. But anyway, we're going to get back to we got to finish the ranking cards. I got to get my button gear, and I am. I only get about 45 minutes for lunch to be able to, and that's what I've been doing. I've been getting into Excel and getting into my laptop and putting this all that I've done and put in there, to where I have, okay, here's the Autobots, here's a tab for the 4 different units, here's all these lines for all the different rankings, the 7 different seven different, I forgot, functions. I'll just say functions, and then the 5 different or 7 different rankings, because the Autobots have 5 or 7, the Decepticons just have 5. I didn't add the specialist in there because the Autobots already had it, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I figured out what it was. Well, no, the Autobots, you can either go, if you use the specialist cards, you can't put anything on top of the specialist, so you can only either have a private, sergeant, specialist, or all 5 of private, sergeant, captain, major, general. Um, but so there is an extra card that makes it 6 and not 5. The Decepticons just have 5 for each type. You know, your weapons, your infantry, your black ops, your is it intel? Because there's a few verbiage that are not that are not identical. Because I think you have special ops for the Autobots, you have black ops for the Decepticons. Weapons and infantry are both the same. Medical is both the same. So you see where I'm going. If you're new to this and you're like, there's a card game, I'm just here for the stop motion. That's fine, but I better cut this short. It's the end of a long day, and I got to get some more work done when I get home on my laptop. Fun, and I don't mean the card game. Boy, I'd rather. I was in a bit of a slump this summer, and I'm finally back having fun creating the cards again. Okay, that was another bit of an obstacle that I was getting through, and I'm past that now, and I'm really enjoying making the cards again, or I wouldn't have finished recoloring the Marine War battle cards in everything else. So we've gotten some things done. I'd like to, it may not happen. I lost my Beast War file of characters, and I'd like to try to recreate that, because the ones that I have printed out aren't the final ones. What's out there in Dropbox is, I don't think, the final ones. I think we were going over them. I think we finished. If I can find, I think I lost it all. I'd have to get new screenshots and everything. We'll see. But if at least anything, I have 2 goals I would like to finish by the end of this year, if at all possible. Finish the ranks, and then we get through the Marine War characters. I have two new abilities that you probably already know of, because we've gone through some of them. And I don't know if I like how tact works. I'm still trying to figure out tact, T-A-C-T, which is like for a sailboat term. And I was a dock brat as a kid, because my parents owned a sailboat. We went all over the place. And sync. And sync is kind of, think of the Sentinel combiners, Wave 2, which normally is sort of an ability that one of your boat characters has to be in a certain mode or certain action in the KO that affects a character that's active on your battlefield. That sync. It doesn't matter if it's Autobot or Decepticon. I don't think. No rhyme intended. Sorry, Wheelie fans. But anyway, we'll leave it there. So much more coming. So much more to do. I'm back. So I apologize for the slump, the hiatus. Politics has almost sucked the life out of me, almost. And that's a rabbit hole that we need to pay attention to, but we don't need to live it. We don't. We need to get off our phones after a while. Don't always completely be mired in social media 24/7. There's so much that's going on. None of us knows what's really going on. And we'd have to put it all together and listen to hundreds of people to even fathom what the truth is in all this that's going on in our country. And I'm not blaming any one person, any one political faction, any one president, because it's just too much. And there's a lot that is trying to be fixed and undo, whether you believe it or not. It's interesting. I find it really interesting. I didn't used to care for politics until I was in college. I don't care for protesting. I don't like advocacy groups and anything, or activists or anything like that. I really don't. It just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. But I feel like we should all be able to have a voice. And when that's gone, our country's gone. So with the most recent events. This is all I'm going to say about this, because I've tried doing some videos and I've recorded some very inspirational videos that I never released, that I've deleted. They're gone. Is it, even if you think you're wrong, what you know is truth. And if you think it is truth or true, stick with it. Try not to back down on your beliefs unless you happen to change your mind. And we are living in the human condition. We always can change. We always adapt. We'll see you next time.